the thing. But yeah, she's like,
yeah, that
all
was...
sales are final, bye.
That
also,
was
it's crazy that they think you can return a marriage.
Exactly.
Well, I think maybe they were thinking it's not a real marriage. Like, maybe it was some sort of joke. We could return these things and get our money back.
Yeah.
But as Ross and Rachel learned, it's a real marriage even in Vegas.
It's real. And then we are with Declan, Fiona, and Holly J. And Declan is trying to mediate. He's like, you guys need to get along.
Well, first he's like yelling at Holly J. And he's like, what the shit? And she's like, your sister is being a fucking lunatic nightmare. And then Fiona runs up with a Chanel bag, because this is all they do is they go to Chanel. And she's like, I got these like crocodile shoes. They're fabulous. And he goes, yeah, croctacular. And then he's like, anyway. Declan has all the good lines.
I love Declan in this movie. I really, truly do.
Pretty great. Yeah, and he's like, you guys need to get along. And then Fiona's like, let's throw a bash. Let's start over. I think they hug and it's awkward.
I wrote Fiona gives a sinister hug.
Yeah. Anytime they hug, she like narrows her
eyes. I thought she was gonna whisper something creepy in her ear.
True, and then she didn't. I was very surprised. But she's like,
Holly J does an awkward back pat, which I enjoyed.
And then she's like, we'll invite all of our friends. And Declan goes, friends? And she goes, acquaintances, socialites, whatever.
Yeah, and they're gonna throw a bash. And then we're in the park with Jane and
George. Who calls her a, quote, total hottie, which bothered me a lot.
Yeah. And then they're having a conversation about college. I'm like, you probably should have had this conversation before she joined the band, but whatever. And he's like, but, like, you're in the band now. Like, what are you even talking about? And I think that was kind of that whole scene. Yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, we also, I mean, I don't know. But we also find out that he used to date the lead singer, and her name was Siobhan.
Right.
Yeah.
But then we're with Spinner and Emma and Manny and Jay. They're like back at Spinner's apartment, and Manny and Jay go to leave.
Manny says she blames the margaritas, and I just wrote they are often to blame.
True. And
most of my bad choices come from margaritas.
Yep.
And then Manny and Jay like go to leave, and Emma's like, I'm gonna stay here. We gotta figure things out. And they're like, okay. And
Jay has an uncle that does divorces named Larry.
Of course he does.
Which was the most accurate thing written in this whole movie.
It's like, I know a guy. I can help you out. And then they like start talking, and then we see Spinner's like Spinner Shrine. He's like, everything that makes me me. And there's like pictures of him and Paige and pictures like stuff from like all over the years.
I did love seeing that. That actually did make me really
Spinner
happy.
Shrine. And he still has the grade 9 science project that Emma did on him with the healthy foods that gave him a boner in class. And they talk about that.
I did like this scene.
I thought that was cute. But then they like start kissing and they're like, we should stay married.
Which
I'm like,
okay,
no.
I love how in this movie just falling to the floor implies sex. Like they literally just kiss and then just fall on the ground. And I'm like, all right, I guess that's a way
to doing it right there.
All right, sure, whatever.
And then we're at the bash, and Fiona's drunk and having a good time because she keeps saying like, aren't we having a great time? Isn't this such a good time? Or something like that.
This is when I think it first becomes apparent. Like Fiona is not just a mean girl. Like she's got a problem.
Yeah, and
it's actually a really sad scene in my opinion.
They're also trying so hard to be Gossip Girl with this party.
Oh,
and
yeah. Well, there's a girl there named Blake, which I was like, I mean, come on, guys.
Get it together.
And then Holly J like walks down the stairs in her dress and renders Declan speechless.
As she looks like she's going to prom.
And then Fiona then is like, let me introduce you to all of Declan's exes, which is weird. And then we cut to Jane and George talking in the corner. And George is like, look out the window. That's opportunity. And and this is also...
He says... Wait, hold on. Well, first, when Holly J meets the exes, they're like, well, Fiona wants Declan all to herself, which, gross.
Yeah.
But also true. And fucking, when George of the Jungle is talking to Jane, he's like, he literally says, stop planning and start living. And then I threw up in my mouth.
And then this is when Your Love Is My Drug by Kesha is playing. Their gross kiss, and they kiss.
Wait,
like,
did they kiss?
Yeah, Jane
Yeah.
and gross George kissed.
I did not notice this somehow. I must have been, because I must have been typing my note when this happened, because I literally just wrote, George creeps me out. And apparently that was when they were kissing, so now I feel doubly, ew, he's
Did not like it.
I don't like this.
So much.
And then we cut to Holly J and Declan being adorable, and then they start kissing, and then Fiona literally pulls Declan away from Holly J's kiss to kiss him.
No, so she pulls him away and she's like, gross. And Holly J fucking stands up for her shit. She's like, he is my boyfriend. That is normal. If anything, what you're doing right now is wildly inappropriate and like kind of weird. And
Fiona goes, you want to see inappropriate? And she's clearly super drunk at this point.
she says, you want to see inappropriate? And she kisses him on the, like makes out, like there's tongue. And he
looks horrified.
Yeah. This is one of the times that I just screamed. I just screamed in
Allegra
my
and I
house.
both just like screamed out loud. I was like, no! And then Holly J's like, this is so gross. I'm leaving. I have to go. Like, I can't do this with you and your sister anymore. And Declan is literally like, I literally asked for none of this. Like, why are you leaving? Like, that is the look that's on his face. He's like, what is happening to me?
I did write one note, though. Okay, so first off, this scene makes me really sad because it's like clearly Fiona having some sort of breakdown.
Oh, fully having a breakdown.
And because I think she even says, I feel faint right after this and like collapses.
No,
she fainted.
She fake fainted. So
Okay, yeah.
She says, I feel faint. And she like collapses into his arms. And Holly J is like, you're both pathetic. I'm leaving. And Declan's like, I can't just leave her here when she's like passed out. But like,
and then you see her eyes
Oh, I didn't see her eyes open. Oh my God. But yeah, she's clearly, this is like a breakdown level.
Yeah.
for sure.
But one thing I did know, because Holly just says, I'm not going to come second to your sister, Declan. And one thing I did notice, Holly J's right in this scene, because the way Fiona is really inappropriate.
Yeah.
That said, in a normal circumstance, coming second to his sister is probably not a terrible thing, considering you're a high school girlfriend and that's his family.
Exactly. But
in this circumstance,
this is a specific.
Precisely.
And I think she means sexually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she does too.
Exactly.
Fiona just kissed him on the mouth.
Oh my God.
Ah.
Tongue.
Oh.
No.
Oh,
Why
poor
did
Declan.
you do this, Degrassi? Yeah. Then it's the next day, and Spinner's making breakfast for Emma, and he's like,
Spinner?
"You like eggs? I made eggs."
Spinner sings when he cooks, and it's weirdly
It's
adorable.
pretty cute. And then Emma
I just wrote, I hate their domestic bliss.
and then Emma comes across his Jane box and is like, "I'm leaving. I just saw your Jane box." And he's like, "Oh, I was gonna throw that away." And she's like, "But you didn't. You're not over it yet. I don't know."
Of course he's not. It was like a week ago.
This happened 2 seconds ago. What are you talking about?
She's like, I'm worried I'm a rebound. I'm like,
you are.
You're obviously a
No,
rebound.
and Spinner says, you're not just a rebound. I'm like, but she is.
But she is. But you literally broke up with Jane maybe a week ago. What is happening?
Yeah, literally Fiona. We know that Declan and Fiona's mom doesn't come back for 2 weeks.
So it's
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
than 2 weeks ago for sure.
Yeah. And then it's the next day. Speaking of Declan and Fiona, and their gross twincest is on page 6, which I'm like, ugh, gross. And Declan is like, I talked to mom. You're like going to the beach house. She's like, you're sending me to the Hamptons. And I'm like, oh,
God,
poor
go
you.
ahead.
And he's like, I can't be all that you have. You need to sort out your shit. Like, get it together, Trish. What are you doing?
He's basically like, this is super unhealthy, and I've let it exist for as long as it has, and this has to stop.
Yeah, there's a really sad line in there where he says, I'm worried you're messed up and I can't help you.
Yeah.
And that part breaks my heart because, again, I love Fiona. Fiona ends up being one of my favorite characters ever. But, this is, her hitting her rock bottom, and it really makes me sad. And, she just melts down after he leaves. She's clearly a very lonely, messed up person who's, who doesn't know how to, A, handle her alcohol, or B, just function.
She just doesn't really know how to be herself, I feel like, is part of
She's
the
used him as a
problem.
shield for so long.
Yeah. And I also wrote down, like, this fight needed to happen for so long. They needed to have this fight a long time ago.
Seriously, because this is ridiculous.
But I love Declan in this moment. He, like, breaks my heart. She's like, you're the only person I have. And he says just, I can't be.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's such a good moment. Oh,
Yeah.
I feel bad for them both.
But then we see that Holly J slept at TVM, I guess, and Kristen is like, oh, you might just make it yet. And then Kristen starts reporting on the twincest story on live TV.
I'm sorry, did TRL ever do this sort of stuff? Because I don't think so.
I don't know. She has like a gossip set.
Does Lainey Gossip, like Lainey, it was that Lainey Gossip who made a random cameo?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, which I thought was interesting.
And then Declan calls in to the live TV. She's like, and we have Declan on the phone. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm calling to, like, talk to the girl that I love and blah, blah, blah. And he's, like, talking to Holly J on live TV and professing his love for her. And he comes and they, like, make up and it's fine.
Okay. So,
Teen me would have been in love with him.
so, like, adult me is kind of in love with him.
I mean, let's be real, his eyebrows.
Them eyebrows, though. But he makes this whole speech over the phone, and it's, like, kind of lovely. And he's like, turn around. And she turns around, and he's like, and he basically is like, will you forgive me and take me back? And she's like, this is your last chance. And, like, the smile on his face. And,
oh, my God. He looks so happy.
Oh, my God.
They're
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
He is.
He looks like he teared up from happiness because of her response.
Well, he, like, has this, like, gasp, laugh, smile combination that is, like, next level, and my heart fucking melted to the floor.
I'm kind of surprised he's not a bigger star. Like, he's done stuff since Degrassi. Like, he was on Hemlock Grove.
Yeah, I forgot that he was on Hemlock Grove.
And I think some other stuff, because I was looking this up last night, and I'm like, I'm kind of shocked he's not a bigger star now, because he's so handsome.
I feel like Hemlock Grove could have, like, helped him, but that show was not good.
Yeah. I almost want to watch it, because I've never seen it. I almost want to watch it just because I'm like, oh.
It's
Mr.
really
Eyebrows.
confusing. They don't explain a lot of what you need to know.
Yes, but Holland. He and his eyebrows.
Yeah, I actually would maybe watch it again because he is beautiful on that show. I think he plays like a werewolf or something. I don't know.
It's Claire's fan fiction come true.
Oh my God.
Anyway, then we're with Spinner and Emma meeting with the divorce lawyer, who is Colin Mockery from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh my God, I didn't even realize that. That's
Also,
amazing.
a waste of Colin because he didn't do anything. He's like,
barely
I'm a
did.
lawyer. Like, were you drunk? I don't know. He's like, claim intoxication. Poof. It's like, it never happened. Great.
He's funny and he brings a lot to the scene, but there's not a lot to the scene.
Yeah.
Spinner has a little speech that I actually, like, I wish it was to anyone else, because I actually really loved it, where he's like, I love my job, but I don't want to be rich. I love my friends, but I don't need to be famous, or whatever. Like, it's actually and he, like, delivers it really, like, it's a cheesy speech, but he delivers it really well, and I'm like, this is a really sweet speech.
It's just like,
and then
I am.
And then it cuts to Emma, and her part is so poorly acted, where she's just like, who needs everything when you have, or who needs fame when you have everything you ever wanted wake up beside you? And I'm like, Emma.
Yeah.
This is poorly delivered to his very sweet speech.
I felt differently about the speech. I thought it was weird and not romantic, and I was not endeared by anything.
Oh, I thought it was
I was
endearing.
endeared by Spinner.
That was the thing. I was endeared by it if I just pretended it was someone else.
I think it's just that I can't believe any of it that's happening, that I'm like so detached from it.
Yeah, I think I just was like, oh, Spinner just is who he is, and he's cool with who he is, and it probably took him a long time to get here, and I love Spinner. But but in the context of why he was saying it, I was like, ew, no. Why are they staying married? Because this is, I think, when they officially decide, like, we're just going to stay married, though.
Can someone rewrite this entire movie and change Emma out for, like, Paige or Darcy?
Or Darcy, or...
Actually not Darcy. Darcy kind of got terrible. You know what? No, Darcy. Darcy gets back from Africa, marries Spinner. I would actually be on board for that.
And she's all, like, Jesus-y, so she would probably get married young anyway. Like, I don't know.
I mean, just anyone but Emma. New girl. Write in a new girl. It's fine.
Oh, it's so weird. And she's like, I love you. And I'm like, how do you already love him? You barely know him.
Seriously.
And
then Jane goes to band practice and Siobhan is back.
Wait. So I wrote in all caps, "Don't stay married, you fools." I was
Fools.
I was writing this at like 2 a.m. I was clearly having feelings.
Half of my notes are just, this is an appropriate reaction. This is an appropriate reaction. Just like throughout them telling people that they're staying married,
Yes.
every single person is having a more appropriate reaction than they are.
It's true. Okay, so about Siobhan. Again,
I thought it was Alex Johnson at first, but it wasn't.
no, it was not. And I
If
did, and
only.
I thought that Jane actually has a better voice than this person does. We hear
Yeah.
her singing that terrible "Maybe Love" song,